All right, let's see here.
To prevent people from becoming homeless and purchasing cleaning supplies and PPE.
Of the 20,000 people who used Toronto's shelter system last year,
first you become homeless, then you begin purchasing cleaning supplies.
A Canadian Medical Association survey finds some doctors are feeling high levels of fatigue and anxiety 1 year into this pandemic.
69% of practicing physicians surveyed felt an increase in fatigue over the past year, with 65% experiencing pandemic-related anxiety.
Sorry, it's slightly over.
Marks exactly 1 year since the World Health Organization labeled COVID-19 a global pandemic. The CMA says 62% of respondents feel concerns
like that. Oh, bad air in here.
Are contributing negatively to their mental health, with more than 50% giving current
But if I didn't have my window set up with the backflow damn.
John Kelly, the Canadian
I'd be coughing a lot worse right now.
You're listening to 680 News. It's 12:49. U.S. climate envoy John Kerry is
10 minutes. We're gonna hear
climate talks and discuss further
about how they're gonna pave over the wetlands, the Oak Ridges Moraine. Development companies own stuff. You know how expensive it is to rebuild hydraulics?
This is one of the most important issues that his administration intends.
Not normal wear and tear. When it's industrially sabotaged. Industrial espionage, industrial sabotage. We got a little bit of everything up in this bitch. You don't want to fuck around. You're going to destroy the water I'm drinking uphill. That's like these white people around here telling me I'm not allowed to clean the sewers. Why? Because the houses downhill from here are ours. I'm supposed to let the shit water flood.
When you're selling your house, you need to stage it just right. Store your valuables with access storage and show.
And when I call out about the racism, I will use the word nigger. Oh, what? Oh, you shouldn't use it. I would never. I'll say it again and go, oh, you're right, nigger. I don't have to push them that hard to say it. I don't have to push them that hard to say it.
Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free at accessstorage.ca.
Once they understand that what I'm telling them is I'm black, they go, oh, so I can get away with saying it to you.
Represents one. Many companies have some. And this is how many Search Kings has. Search Kings has hundreds of 5-star Google reviews. No wonder Google hand-selected Search Kings as a Google Premier partner. And they're Canadians. You want to stand out where your customers are online? Switch to Search Kings.
That'll be my screen.
News time, 12:51.
Time for traffic and weather together all at once. Here's Zach Bovenstein.
This report brought to you by Friday Harbor. Well, we had pothole repairs, at least we did. I'm not really seeing the crews anymore. Looks like they left pretty quickly on the South 400 ramp to the westbound 401. But it is still slow from South to Shepherd down towards the 401 ramp. So it looks like it's just residual volume at this point. But again, I'm not seeing the crews on the ramp anymore like I was just a few moments ago. Westbound 401 still dealing with a minor issue west of the Allen Express. Stalled vehicle blocking the right lane, and it's busy approaching Mavis in the Express to approaching Mississauga Road. Eastbound 401, you'll find delays just from Dixon to the 400 in the Express. Anything beyond or after, beyond or before that is moving really well. And we are still looking at a slower drive on the northbound DVP from Eglinton to north of Lawrence. Again, nothing too bad through here. Also not dealing with any issues. It's just volume as you make your way through that area. Get away to Friday Harbor and get back to the things you love. Enjoy winter safely from the comfort of 600 acres of nature. Friday Harbor, come for the day or a lifetime. Friday, I'm in love. With a look at the forecast now, here's Jill Taylor.
Record warm highs possible today and again tomorrow. The guaranteed high 15 degrees. It will be cooler though near the lake. Sun and cloud today and a brisk wind. Tonight cloudy, chance of showers, a low near 9. Tomorrow windy with rain, especially for the afternoon and evening. Even the possibility of thunderstorms tomorrow and a very strong southwest wind. High up to 16 degrees. Friday mainly sunny and high near 10. For today, the guaranteed high 15.
Right now in downtown, we have got some beautiful sunshine right now in the core. We're sitting at a temperature now of 12 degrees. Out of Pearson Airport, it is sunny and 11. 680 News Time, 12:53.
It's just common sense. A flexi line by Capital Direct allows you to manage your funds more effectively and gives you that financial peace of mind. Think of it as secure lending so you can do all the things you've been dreaming about, whether it's a basement renovation or taking care of tuition. It's the smart move that allows you to take take only what you need when you want it. Whether you could use $50,000 or $1.5 million, that cash is available to you. Call Capital Direct today at 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL. CapitalDirect.ca. As the pandemic continues,
it's never been more important to get trusted information.
For the latest on the COVID-19 numbers, the vaccine, and everything you need to know,
We're here for you.
on your radio, online, and on your device.
This is 680 News.
What is wrong with you people?
Well, as fears of a third wave continue to grow, Sunnybrook is getting ready to address the potential urgent need for hospital beds. Kevin Meisner tells us the parking lot outside the facility has been turned into a field hospital.
2 mobile health units a month and a half ago. We were waiting for them to put them somewhere. Oh, we'll put it next to hospital. Well, you are fucking stupid, aren't you?
To add capacity to hospitals as necessary. It'll be ready for operation in early April.
So the default will still be to put people in crowded rooms.
COVID-19 to come.
And when those are full, you'll put people outdoors.
Because I'm really excited to get out of this pandemic, but at the same time, I'm glad to see that the government is doing everything they can to keep us safe.
Others agree.
She just said that as though they're two opposing things, two opposing thoughts.
Comforting it is,
She doesn't know how to use those words.
Action that they're taking.
I really want to get out of the pandemic, but I'm glad to see they're doing something about it. Right. So,
just in case the healthcare
in her mind, building a hospital is making the situation worse. Think about that.
Sunnybrook Hospital on Bayview Avenue. I'm Kevin Meisner.
Coming up in business news in 60 seconds, another wild ride for shares in GameStop.
680 News Time, 12:55.
Does inline fiberglass do window replacements? Of course we do. Hi, I'm Tom Rokiki of Inline Fiberglass. A lot of people ask me whether or not Inline does window replacements. We have been replacing vinyl, wood, and aluminum windows for over 30 years. No job is too big or too small. So let us beautify your home and improve your home energy efficiency. If your windows are leaky, call Tom Rokiki. For more information, visit us at our Factory Direct showroom or at inlinefiberglass.com.
With the Daily Grand Lotto, you can win $1,000 a day for life.
Wait, every single day?
Yeah,
So I'd start liking Mondays?
probably.
But everybody hates Mondays, so I'd suddenly be an outcast, living on the fringes of society, a bizarre Monday-loving weirdo.
But you'd get $1,000 every day for life.
Then TGIN,
we call our downtown the core.
Daily Grand Lotto draws every Monday and Thursday. Buy
It
tickets in store and
relates to
online
some
at
science fiction.
OMG.ca.
I want to
680 News Time, 12:56.
Now the 680 News Business Report. Here's Chris McCusker.
Well, Sarah, holding shares in GameStop is really not for the faint of heart. The stock is trying for a 6th straight winning day, and it's been on a fairly wild ride in the last maybe 40 minutes or so. It did hit its all-time closing high of
I didn't pay for this, and I didn't pay for this.
where it seems to have hit a wall. Since it went above that mark, it was halted 4 times over a span of 25 minutes, dropping by as much as 20%, moving higher by as much as 40%. Right now, it's in between, higher by 6.3% to 262.46. The Dow did hit an intraday high today. Right now, it's up 426. The S&P is higher by 21, and the Nasdaq up by 44. On this side of the border, no change in interest rates by the Bank of Canada.
No, it looked like the guy that hit me last
to
year.
see positive growth in the first quarter of 2021, a switch from the previous forecast. And the bank also plans to continue the bond buying program. Benjamin Reitzes is Canadian rates and macro strategist at BMO Capital Markets, and he says the statement was pretty much as expected.
However, and despite more fiscal support from the U.S. and an improving backdrop, they really emphasize in a way that they haven't done in the past that the labor market.
So the soldier that rammed his truck up into Parliament Hill,
increasing
the Governor General's house, the Rito Hall, that's what it's called.
that we can't just be looking at the GDP numbers.
In a sense, today, supposedly, he is a sausage maker. A sausage maker.
Appears to be taking on a greater amount of importance for policymakers.
Some of them say, hey, you can't get that. You can't let that guy go to jail. And others are saying, hey, the guys in jail need sausages too, eh?
The TSX at an all-time high again today. It closed at a record yesterday. So right now it's up 95, 18,693.
You don't sound as happy as you should about
Gold's
that.
not really been a factor today. Right now it is higher, but only up $1, 17.18. And then oil is down 30 cents, 63.71. That's a drop of about 0.5%. The latest supply report from the U.S. did show a build last week of almost 14 million barrels. Again, this connected to that energy situation in Texas last month. And then maybe offsetting that a bit, gas supplies were down almost 12 million barrels last week. I'm Chris McCusker. This is 680 News.
Square knows that running a business can mean a lot of things. It means running with unknowns, split-second decisions, and plans you make up as you go. So Square has tools to help run your business wherever tomorrow takes you. Launch an online store in minutes, set up pickup and delivery, and bill for work with easy invoicing. You can also take any payment, anywhere, and manage your inventory, appointments, plus everything else in one easy place. The future of business is yours to shape. Start with Square at square.ca.
Today on Hey Culligan, better water, better food. Here's Barry in Bob Cajun.
Hey Culligan, my water smells like a swimming pool and my pierogi tastes like one too.
Sounds like your water comes with a little chlorine.
Chlorine?
Yeah, but you could get a great for cooking water, delicious for drinking water, Culligan reverse osmosis system.
Yeah, I'll take one of those and 2 or 3 more pierogies, please.
No can do on the pierogies, but one Culligan reverse osmosis system already on the way. Let us help you out with the free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at culligan.ca.
Now, 680 News regional weather conditions for New Life Fertility Center. New Life Fertility is now open in Toronto, and to celebrate, they're offering their full IVF package for only $8,800 until May 15th. Register at newlifefertility.com.
In Niagara Falls right now, sunny and 17 degrees. In Oshawa, sunny and 11. Downtown Toronto, a mix of sunny cloud, and we're at 12 degrees. The News Watch never stops. 680 News is CFTR AM Toronto. It's 1 o'clock.
Toronto's #1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. This is 680 News.
Good afternoon. This is Wednesday, the 10th of March. I'm Steve Roberts.
And I'm Sarah Paris. Here's what's making news this hour. It's another day of more than 1,000 new COVID-19 cases in Ontario. This is the province gets ready to announce details of its AstraZeneca vaccine rollout.
At Queen's Park,
Someone in Ontario will receive the 1 million dose today.
Radio 4 defending what the opposition contends is a confusing vaccine rollout.
As several provinces move ahead with plans to delay the second dose of COVID vaccines by up to 4 months, scientists from some major health institutions have written a letter expressing concern.
Mayor Tory kicks off City Council by paying tribute to frontline workers, city staff, and people across Toronto, as tomorrow marks 1 year since the WHO declared a global pandemic.
Ross Stripling makes his first start of the spring. Jays take on the Orioles today. Leafs have a 3-game losing streak. Sport at 15.
The Dow and the TSX hit all-time highs. Not much movement in our loonie after the Bank of Canada's announcement, and another volatile session for shares in GameStop. Business at 26. City News Time 101.
All right, now time for traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Zach Bodenstein.
This report brought to you by Mark Feldstein and Associates. So right now on the major routes, there aren't too many troubles to deal with. And just this stalled vehicle on the westbound 401 west of the Allen in the Express. It's blocking the right lane, but no delay. And after that, busy approaching Mavis in the Express to approaching Mississauga Road. That is just volume. Eastbound 401 looking pretty good until you make your way just past the 427, slow from approaching Dixon to the 400 mainly in the Express. Nothing else doing on this route. North DVP, you'll find things busy approaching Eglinton to north of Lawrence. Now I'm noticing traffic is actually heavy. Before it was just a minor slowdown, but definitely getting busier out of downtown right now. And not much on the Gardner or QEW. We have problems in town in the beaches. We have Queens shut down both ways at Glen Manor. That's because of a collision. For all your personal and corporate tax accounting needs, call Mark Feldstein, Associates Chartered Professional Accountants. Visit markfeldstein.ca, markfeldstein.ca. With a look at the forecast, here's Jill Taylor.
The average high about 4 degrees will be well above that today. The guaranteed high 15 degrees with sun and cloud, a brisk wind out of the southeast and then a southwest wind. Tonight, chance of showers, the low near 9. For today, the guaranteed high 15.
Right now in downtown Toronto, a mix of sun and cloud. It's 12 degrees. 680 News Time 103.
Ontario has almost 200,000 doses of the AstraZeneca COVID vaccine in time. is really of the essence because they do have an expiry date coming up in a couple of weeks, and officials are set to release more details anytime now on how they plan to get those doses out of the fridge and into your arm.
680's Irene Precklett joins us live with more on that and today's COVID-19 case count. Irene. Sarah, Ontario is reporting 1,360 new cases of COVID-19. It's the fourth day in a row we are above 1,000 cases. The cases are based on more testing, so our positivity rate down more than a full percent to 2.5. Just over 35,000 vaccines given in a single day. This, of course, with the clock ticking when it comes to the AstraZeneca doses that arrived yesterday. The province has said they will be administered to those 60 to 64 at pharmacies in Toronto, Windsor, and Kingston. During this morning's weekly Brampton COVID-19 update, I asked if there was disappointment that Peel Region was not being included in this pilot project. Brampton Mayor Patrick Brown saying, don't assume they're not part of that project, and he expects that he respects the ministry's goal in making announcements.
And just stay tuned. I believe you're going to hear some good news in regards to AstraZeneca and the pilot project in Peel very, very soon.
And we are expected to hear from the province very, very soon. A press conference was set to start at 1. As soon as it does get underway, we'll take you there right away. Reporting live, Irene Precklett, 680 News. Well, at Queen's Park, Premier Ford is defending his government's vaccine rollout. Here's our Richard Southern.
NDP Leader Andrea Horwath asking the Premier about what she contends is a confusing vaccine rollout.
How do we make sure that people who need the vaccine the most are actually going to be able to get it first when the process is such a confusing mess?
The only person that's confused is the Leader of the Opposition. This is the way we have to deal with it. And the question is, someone in Ontario will receive the 1 million dose today. So it's just sort of say everyone's pitching in, and we're going to ramp that up. The good news is, again, today, at a Shoppers Drug Mart, they're going to start pumping out the AstraZeneca, and people will be getting needles in the arm.
And on the potential for queue jumping with vaccines, the Premier says he has, quote, faith in the people of Ontario, but they won't jump the queue. I'm Richard Southern.
All right, and happening right now, let's go live to Premier Doug Ford.
1 million vaccine dose in Ontario. That's 1 million doses. Let me take a moment to thank the Vaccine Task Force and all of their hardworking frontline healthcare workers for this incredible achievement. And I want to thank all the volunteers here at the Toronto Congress Centre for their work at this mass vaccination clinic. Clinics like this are playing a vital role in our provincial vaccine delivery plan. We will have more than 120 new mass immunization clinics open by the end of the month, giving us the capacity to deliver up to 150,000 doses a day, dependent on supply from the federal government. This is an absolute game changer. It appears that our vaccine supply is continuing to improve. Yesterday, we received 194,500 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine. To get these vaccines administered as quickly as possible, more members of Team Ontario are stepping up. As of Friday, over 325 pharmacies will be beginning offering the AstraZeneca vaccine to Ontarians between the ages of 60 and 64. In fact, some pharmacies started administering vaccines this morning. This vaccine pilot will begin in 3 PHUs, including Toronto, Windsor-Essex, and Kingston, Frontenac, Lennox, and Addington. For those eligible, you can find a list of participating pharmacies at ontario.ca/pharmacy COVID vaccine. In addition, primary care professionals will be offering vaccinations in primary care settings and community locations such as physician offices beginning this weekend. They will be contacting eligible Ontarians aged 60 to 64. This expansion will start with Hamilton, Toronto, Guelph, Peterborough, Simcoe, Muskoka, and Peel. My friends, the light at the end of the tunnel keeps getting brighter.
You keep using that even though they told you not to. So this.
Thank you, and God bless
This
the
is
people
the
of Ontario.
adapter.
Now I'll hand it over to General Hilliard.
I could pop the card right out of my phone into the box. Oh, I could plug a cable. You know how fucking long that takes? Jesus.
Well, Premier, thank you, and my update will be fairly quick. We are going to hit 1 million doses in the arms of the people of Ontario today. In fact, I'm convinced that right as we stand here now, we've already passed that mark.
we'll see by the count this afternoon. And I want to echo what the Premier said to thank those people who are involved in the vaccination rollout. There are tens of thousands of them across the province who are engaged in this.
Red sticky stuff on one side of this for some reason. Yeah, I don't know if it's blood or strawberry jam or whatever. We'll do this after.
COVID-19, whether that's the people who deliver the vaccines to the airports, the security that ensure it gets to where it has to go, the people who receive it there, the folks who organize the clinics, the volunteers that show up, the logistics parts of it, the folks who do the IT and make sure people can get a vaccination appointment and get in to get it, and then those people who put the vaccine into the arms of those who are there to receive it.
With
There are
no
literally
training
tens of thousands of them, those who do the planning, those who do the communications for it, and all of them have a role to play, and they're going to remember this role for the rest of their life. And I want to say thank you to every single one of them. A million needles in the arms of the people of Ontario as of today. Secondly, in the next 3 weeks, we are going to do another million in the arms of the peoples of Ontario, and by the end of March, we will have completed that second million, and a little bit more, of course, because we will be using the AstraZeneca. And across Ontario, as the Premier said, clinics like this one are starting up now every single day, getting ready to turn on or turning on, getting ready for the big doses that will arrive a week and a half to 2 weeks from now, and making sure that we can put them efficiently and fairly into the arms of the people who are eligible and who want them. There are 3 starting next week, including this one here in Toronto, as the City of Toronto and Toronto Public Health already announced. We have 6 more starting next Monday in Peel, as the Medical Officer of Health walked me through last night, and that continues right across the province of Ontario. We're going to do another million in the next 3 weeks, and then we'll go onwards and upwards from there. On Monday of next week, our customer service desk and the online booking system will go live.
This guy is so dumb. Everybody, his whole life is covered for him just enough to get him out of the fucking situation.
Undoubtedly, we will have some, but the work has been done to ensure that those challenges are going to be minimized. And if they are encountered, we will fix it and get back online. I ask all of you to give us a chance to roll that out. If you're not 80 years old on Monday, or if you're not representing somebody who's 80 years old or older, please do not.
You don't understand how few people they're talking to. They've devoted the same period of time a week for a few hundred people as for 10 or 20 million people. And they don't understand how that's not going to work. Oh, everything seemed easy. It was okay when we started. Now there's so many people.
I've started with AstraZeneca as of today. The details are out there to be found. Each pharmacy handles it slightly differently, but their capacity to help us bring those vaccines.
That's where you're supposed to come in and standardize it, stupid.
I have gone through, starting yesterday and carrying on today and tomorrow, going through with every one of the 34 medical officers of health, their plan on how they are going to implement our provincial plan, what they are doing to ensure they have the capacity, the last sort of coming together before the big wave of doses hits, and to ensure simply that we're ready. I have confidence that we are, but I've been able to visualize with each of those medical officers of health their plans and be able to ensure that they've got the people to do it, that they've got their sites to do it, that they're prepared for it, and if they need help from the province and or the task force, then the government officials can provide them that help. We're in a really good position to be ready for that onslaught of vaccines, and as I said, in the next month, we will do another million. And I think I'll finish there with my update by saying thanks again to the people who have been so absolutely incredible getting those vaccines in the arms of people. Every single one of you has been engaged. We have a debt to you. We have an appreciation that we want to show to you that's absolutely incredible. I couldn't be more proud just to be a tiny little part of that awesome team. And thank you for the work that you have done. And to all of the people of Ontario, those vaccines are coming in the short term as you wait for them. Please be a little patient and please follow the health measures and make sure that we don't get COVID-19 virus or any of the variants and opportunities.
See a friend with the big afro with the dreads and braids and it's all picked out. And,
thank you.
We'll go to the phone line for questions.
Oh,
First
here we
question,
go.
please.
This is the good part.
Sean Jeffers at the Canadian Press. Please go ahead.
Hi, Sean. Good afternoon, Premier. I wanted to ask you about the move to roll the shots out in primary care physician offices. We spoke with the OMA yesterday, and I think we're left with the impression that this was not just, it wasn't ready yet, and that they were kind of operating a bit
in this country. We have multiple.
What's changed in the 24 hours since we spoke with them that would give you confidence that this is going to happen Saturday and people are going to get those shots in doctors' offices?
Before I hand it over to the General, you know, first of all, the primary care physicians, they've done an incredible job out there. I want to thank them. And they have an opportunity to get vaccinations into people's arms, ages 60 to 64. They're the ones who have the patient list. And I have all the confidence in the world.
Why would they have the patient list?
Pass it over to General Hilliard.
Sean, thank you for the question. Nothing happened yesterday to change what we've been doing with the OMA and the Nurses Association of Ontario. We ran a tabletop exercise on Monday of this week to walk through how the family physicians
Dougie, don't do that. Said don't do that.
They have been all along in a variety of ways and manners in public health.
You can tolerate these guys straight, you'll be turned into this channel right now. You can turn into this.
Or whether that's part of teams that go into long-term care homes. Now we're moving a step further where primary care professionals and family doctors will form clinics on their own, mini mass vaccination clinics, if you will. They will continue to work as those teams that go out to populations that cannot come to vaccination sites, and they will continue to support the vaccination rollout in their public health unit. And this week, we're starting with a pilot project on doing those mini mass vaccinations.
Must have people around them as go-betweens.
Using AstraZeneca. We've walked through that with the OMA.
Seems to me you should vaccinate those people first.
With them. We're flowing those vaccines to those people in the pilot project, as the Premier mentioned earlier. Literally, as we
train A leaves the station at 40 kilometers an hour.
Across the province, as more and more vaccines arrive. So we've been working with them for quite a while now to do it. Thank you.
Follow up.
Premier, I'm wondering also about the pharmacy rollout here and the booking through the pharmacies themselves. I mean, is there something in the mechanism where you book to prevent people from booking multiple appointments and kind of playing the odds to
I told you that a week ago.
A shot and frankly creating
and leaving the empty the other.
They don't show up for these other appointments that they've booked.
If you cancel them properly ahead of time.
Well, again, I'm going to pass that over to the general, and he's been dealing with it.
Because you knew about that, and you knew it would make the general look bad, and you're trying to find a way to get his ass out of here, right?
60 across the province. We're going to ramp that up. There's 4,900 pharmacies in the province. Not all 4,900 will be involved, but the vast majority will. And they're going to play an absolute critical role in making sure that we get needles into people's arms. And I want to thank the pharmacies, especially the independents, and then the large ones, the Rexalls and the Shoppers and the Walmarts of the world. So I want to thank each and every one of them.
Premier, thank you, and thank you for that question. And yeah, once you book an appointment, you will not be able to book a second. There's a system in place to actually do that based on address and postal code. It won't be perfect, so I'm sure we'll find examples of those who have done that.
Address and postal code.
Encourage you to book one appointment.
How many postal codes have got living here?
Vaccines enough for all of us, and they're going to be here very soon.
That's not a joke.
And don't try to diminish.
You got the one real one and 3 other ones.
And your family and others could have to get their vaccine also by clogging up.
Every doctor's office, every pharmacy, not every pharmacy chain, every pharmacy is going to have its own separate booking system. This idiot says, oh, there's a system in place. No, there's not. You can't distribute something like that and then...
The first day of summer, the 20th of June this year, that we would have enough capacity.
Have it interlinked like that. That's not how it works.
Vaccines that are forecast to us to be able to put a vaccine, a needle, in the arm.
Hey, the last time you worked, what kind of computer was your boss using, buddy?
Who wants to receive it? So we're talking 3 months
Canadian Forces has a thing called informatics.
Rolled up complete for the first needles.
I want the Bluetooth earpiece in my tooth.
Clog up the system, even if you find a way to do so.
These motherfuckers are in the satellites and the Wi-Fi's.
If you book one, you will get your vaccine. Thank you.
Next question.
Oh, was he talking still?
Brian Lilly, Toronto Sun. Please go ahead.
Hi, Brian.
Good afternoon, Premier. I'd like to hear specifically from you on this and then from anybody else that wants to weigh in.
Sure.
Cole Pinnow, the CEO of Pfizer Canada, or president of Pfizer Canada, told the Commons yesterday that Nancy did not call him or anyone at the company when it came to moving the dosage interval from 3 weeks for Pfizer up to 16. Other prominent physicians have come out and said that we shouldn't be doing this. There's a risk. While I understand why you're doing it and in general support the idea, I'd like to hear what your thoughts are.
Union of Socialist Canadian Provinces. Am I wrong?
Say over 70s. Have you had conversations?
This was capitalists would be this way? No. People with money would get both doses on time, wouldn't they?
From the recommended 3 weeks to
what we're doing. Rich or poor, you will wait 4 months.
We're following what we heard from NACI. I can tell you, I personally have not talked to Cole since the time I called him up and really let into him about getting more vaccines, but I haven't talked to him since then, and I'm going to hand it over to the Minister of Health.
The problem is you're playing local, not global. You're missing the fucking point, buddy.
Well, we are following NACI's recommendations, but there are some populations where we are going to stick to the original dosing intervals. People in long-term care homes that have already received the first dose, they will receive.
Because if the person dies before we give them second dose, it's just a waste of a second, it's a waste of a first dose.
But for others, we have been
that's the
advised by
reasoning.
NACI that
That's
it
the
is,
reasoning.
safe and
That's the
effective
reason.
in order to be able to extend the
Go to a
dosing
nursing home on
intervals
January
up to
1st.
4
February,
months.
March,
Although,
April.
with the quantities of vaccines that we are expecting to receive in the next short while, we doubt that there will be
Well, May
that many
1st,
people that
and then
will
go
be
what would
extended by those 4 months because we will have
August 1st. It'll be a
significant
completely different
supplies
population all 3 times.
Follow up?
Premier, we're at the 1 year mark for COVID kind of taking over our lives from being something that we watched on the news.
$24 US every fucking time. Remember that?
And stay-at-home orders, lockdowns, all of that. I've spoken to your opposition critics and others who have told me how they think you've handled the last year. I'd like to get a sense from you. Where do you think your government did the right thing, and where do you think that you and your government dropped the ball?
Well, first of all, I've always said it's not about me. Yes, we at the end of the day, the buck stops with us. But it's all the great work that
the sausage maker, like it's the meaning.
I was in Ottawa.
Think about it.
And we
Here's mine.
said that
You motherfuckers over here can't even make their own sausages.
Anticipated it would go to this extent, and it was just amazing. I can tell you, Brian, I've never been more proud to be premier of a province of Ontario when I saw everyone band together, and we had.
Hey, you got a year left on that, bro. You better make it good.
And this was all new to the world, not just Ontario. Where
nobody knew about SARS ever before.
Getting a company to produce the vaccines with the federal government. But
last year's and back when the COVID was bad.
Relying on foreign governments or foreign leaders ever again. I want to make sure that we're self-sufficient. I want to make sure that we manufacture vaccines here. We have the know-how, we have the expertise, and we're going to do it. We're going to make sure we have a company that manufactures it. God forbid this happens again. And the vaccine company that will be producing vaccines can also produce the cancer vaccines, produce booster shots. There's all sorts of different vaccines. We could rely on them. But it's
all you conspiracy theorists out there are going to make note of 2 things. What he just said, and later on, not one of these fucking
our team, we've not stopped.
journalists, talking heads is going to ask him about that. He just used the term cancer vaccines
and the 365
in such a loose manner as to imply or suggest someone else has said that to him.
Because we see the light at the end of the tunnel, we will get through this, and I'm just
They're going to be administering the cancer vaccines.
For pitching in.
Wait a second, and it just went right in and out of everybody's ear. They didn't notice either for the first 60 seconds that he said that.
Please go ahead.
Hi, Rob.
Hello, everyone. I'm just wondering, now that we want the family doctors, the primary care physician, factored into this,
so if the bread is real and the chocolate is high quality, those muffins are the equivalent of those emergency meal kits with the chocolate bars in them.
On average, how much is each pharmacy going to get?
Now, you try eating what you normally eat after you haven't eaten for a day, you fill your stomach full.
Rob, thank you. There's been an allocation to the family care for the pilot.
I could eat a full meal, pass out, wake up, my stomach is hurting like it's been empty for days.
$29,500 going to them. Literally, as I said, as of today, the rest are going to the 300, and I believe the exact number is 327 pharmacies. And
that's a Dutch influence, but I didn't realize that till recently.
We believe that their flow-through rate is probably about 40 per day, so the allocation going to each pharmacy is based upon that until, of course, all 194 between those pharmacies and the family doctors have been allocated and sent out. And again, that is happening today. So 194,000, 29,500 to the family doctors, primary care professionals, the remainder to the 327 pharmacies across the 3 public health units. And then with the next shipments coming in, when we know when they're coming and what their numbers are, we'll expand that program right across Ontario.
Follow up?
Thanks, Joe. I'm just wondering, in terms of the primary care physicians reaching out to the 60 to 64-year-old patients, on what basis are they doing that? Are they supposed to prioritize it perhaps for people in that age group who have some of the underlying conditions that could put them more at risk of COVID-19, of severe outcomes, or have conditions on that list of specified conditions that could make people eligible early? How is that being decided, or is it just up to the family doctors to call whomever?
Well, the family physicians know their patients better than anyone, and they understand who needs it a lot sooner than other patients. And I think they'll do a great job in number one, getting their patients to the offices, get vaccinated. But Rob, I think they understand who needs it first in line.
Second set of leaves on the Next question.
Oh shit, tomatoes too. From Logan Turner, CBC News. Please go ahead.
Hi, Logan.
Thanks for the question. Premier Ford, he says getting light, maybe getting brighter, but that doesn't seem to be the case for people in Thunder Bay. New COVID-19 cases are spiking. Political community leaders have been asking for help for weeks. The Thunder Bay District has the highest per capita number of new COVID cases in the province. Our medical officer of health this week said COVID is everywhere in the community and spreading. What is the Ontario government going to do right now to help this district? Are further supports or restrictions coming?
Well, we won't hold back on anything. Anything they need, we'll be out there, and we are supporting them right now. But the best person to answer this is the Minister of Health. Thank you.
Thank you. We're certainly well aware that there's a very difficult situation with COVID cases in Thunder Bay. We are working with the local
murder cap this year. That's why I'm making that joke.
As well as with the federal government. I had a discussion with Minister Haidu.
Thunder Bay or Sault Ste. Marie? It had to be Thunder Bay. Sault Ste. Marie is too damn small. It was Thunder Bay, right? And Sault Ste. Marie's got this like peaceful aura to it that people don't like to talk about.
And people to do the follow-up to help support, as well as some of the public health units that aren't particularly as busy with COVID right now, that they can provide some support by phone as well. We have also put several $1 million into the local
case. And I sliced that Nazi ear.
We want to make sure that people, if they do need to go to hospital, can be cared for locally. We don't want to see people being shifted around across the province because the distances there are so great. We know that it's really important for people to be close to family members, at least to be able to receive that support from them at such time as they are able to be released. So we are aware of what's going on. We are providing supports both in terms of increasing hospital capacity, but also providing people on the ground to help contain the spread and follow up with the case and contact management.
Anybody else thinking about Chernobyl?
The outbreaks that have happened, the correctional facility and in the jail are coming under control, but there still is a significant outbreak in homeless shelters and some areas of congregate living. That is another issue that we're turning our attention to and providing additional support. Follow-up?
I didn't hear Thunder Bay included by the government as a list of the places of hotspots for COVID-19, despite it having the highest number of cases per capita.
It's not a follow-up. He's rephrasing his question because he fucked it up. You tried to brush him aside, didn't you? The journalists in Ontario, there's a serious culture here.
The vaccines is going to be on the basis of population size primarily, but also based on risk. So we want to make sure that we can get to the people over 80 first of all, but also if there are outbreaks and there are problems, those sorts of problems, once we've identified a number already, but we know that there will be more that will happen as we get through the whole vaccination process. And in those situations, additional vaccines will be sent to help deal with that. Next question.
From John McGrath, TVO, please go ahead.
Thanks. Another question about Thunder Bay for the health minister. In British Columbia, they are opting to vaccinate every adult in Prince Rupert, one of their northern communities, by April 1st. That seems like the kind of thing that might work in the case of Thunder Bay, another northern community with a really major outbreak. Is that something that the province is considering, and if not, why not?
No, we are considering that. In fact, we've already had Operation Remote Immunity that has already been to all 31.
We've already done it. No, that's not what he's asking.
Ontario, and also in Moosonee to make sure that
Moosonee. You might as well just say Moose Factory because you're being just as disrespectful of anything.
Doing that as a matter of priority.
A Moose Factory sounds like a native name for something.
That all First Nations adults can
where the moose are made.
Because we know that they are
more
vulnerable.
Oh, it's
so
a new
it's
model,
something that we are in a process of putting into action. Follow up?
I want some moose meat. I can go up to Jane Street, get a kangaroo burger, follow it up with an alligator burger. You think I'm joking?
Annually plays a role in
Jane and Dundas, Google Maps that. If it's still there, you'll find it.
Remote First Nations in the case of flooding, other emergencies. At the moment, that would seem to be really dangerous. Is there any kind of planning by the government in terms of making alternate arrangements in terms of where evacuees might go?
Well, first of all, are you talking orange? I didn't catch the very first word you were saying.
Just in general, Thunder Bay has played a role hosting evacuees from remote communities in terms of flooding and other that happens more or less every year.
No, I understand. There'll be other communities that will be able to transport.
Oh yeah, in Canada on a regular basis, you might have to get evacuated from some of these communities. Because we've been here forever. You pushed us all the way back to here. We're not getting up nothing.
They've done an incredible job in the 31 remote communities.
Well, why don't you get out of your living room? I'll come chill on your couch and watch your TV set for a while.
Government. Answer the first question is the Solicitor General.
The Queen Grandmother. Hey, buddy, I got some questions for you. How you have records on me that you're not legally allowed to have under United Nations rules, Canadian law, international
many communities that have
standard,
historically assisted when and if there are spring runoffs, and that work is ongoing, has been going on for a number of months. Frankly, it is one of the
21, 22, 23 going for a job, and they say, hey, when you were 12, 13, 14, you got stopped every day by this one cop over and over and over. I guess we can't hire you. You're not allowed to keep those records.
Including Moosonee, were one of the first groups of communities to be inoculated, vaccinated.
Hey, how many black people in Moose Factory?
We are working with many different municipalities if and when.
No. I just want to know if they've thought about it and they don't want to admit they've thought about it.
From Patty Heddertron at AM 800. Please go ahead.
Sorry.
Paul Vermeer, thanks for taking my question. The winter pharmacies.
You've got a wonderful telephone, miss.
They started taking appointments this morning. They were filled within minutes. And there's waiting lists now. Is there enough of the AstraZeneca to immunize the 60 to 64-year-olds in this region in the pharmacies that they're doing now? How are those numbers there? There's kind of numbers out there, but did you look at to see how many 60 to 64-year-olds are in this region and in Toronto and in Kingston?
I'll pass that over to General Hillier. Thanks.
Thank you for the question. I don't have the numbers of the 60 to 64-year-olds in each of the regions, but here is the number differential. Our first allocation of AstraZeneca is 194,000. In that age group of 60 to 64 across Ontario, there are 1 million people. So clearly, we don't nearly have enough vaccines to do all of that age group in this first batch. We're not sure of the next arrivals of AstraZeneca, but you can be sure as soon as we get them, or as soon as we know, we'll publicize that, obviously, and we'll move it to our logistics pipeline and get it to pharmacies and family doctors and carry on along that same age group until we are finished all those who are eligible and who want to have the vaccine. So 194,000 across Ontario. There are 1 million people in that age group of 60 to 64. So clearly, we do not have enough to do all of them or even close to it yet.
Follow up?
There are 15 million people here, and only 1 million are 60. What did I miss? I missed something. What region was he just?
And a Moderna, or is there enough for people getting it as soon as it starts in a couple of days to get their second dose within a month or so?
There would be 4-month delay there.
Thanks, everyone.
And I just want to mention to the folks out there, again, I want to thank the frontline healthcare here.
I don't have the beat lined up. Play.
We're getting through this, folks. We've all been through a real challenging last year. I just want to thank everyone for doing an incredible job. And on Monday, be prepared. Every region, as the general said, the portal crashes, don't panic. We'll get it back up. And we have some really great folks. I know on the back end, Amazon, one of the largest companies in the world, are supporting us, and they're used to large volume. But folks, if there's one ask I have, please,
the wetlands.
If you are not booking,
no, he just said he does not know yesterday or whatever. They were just playing clips.
Please do not call that number. What you're doing is just taking away from someone that's.
Do you ever have them say to stay off the local phone lines unless you stay off the phone because it might be needed for emergencies or whatever? Have you ever seen your phone system get that overloaded? Never, right? The landline system, it's almost impossible to do.
We're ready to go. We just need more vaccines.
And with cell phones.
And the federal government, by the way,
only time I've ever seen it.
In a while, they're doing a great job in trying to get us as much as possible. So thank you, folks.
New Year's Eve.
Everyone's doing a great job. All the best.
Thanks, everyone.
And you've been listening to Premier Doug Ford here on 680 News.
Everybody got on their phone at the same instant. But there was nothing but people from at least from Young Street to fucking University.
And which pharmacies will have them.
Elbow at best. Like you didn't lift your arm up because you would hit somebody.
Of course, with that is higher testing numbers.
To show us that they were prepared for these crowds, they had one ambulance at City Hall. It was a bus. Hey, look at our big TTC bus type of ambulance. Okay, what are you going to do when 150 people get hurt here?
200,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine, which has an expiry date that is coming sooner rather than later. You heard the announcement from the Premier.
The last building I lived in caught fire.
Vaccines administered as quickly
My
as
genius
possible.
ass, I'm trying to break the plastic thing.
Team Ontario, we're stepping up.
You know these boxes is like the X, and you're trying to break it. Guess what? You hit that as hard as you want. It breaks. Now you got 4 triangles. The 4 triangles that you can't reach through without cutting the fuck out of your hand. They brought that bus ambulance to my building.
Some pharmacies started to
That's the only one that needed help. Like a cut all over my hand. Like,
and in addition to the pharmacy
nobody in here?
rollout in
Everybody's
Toronto,
okay?
Windsor, and Kingston, 6
Now that I'm here, you think you got a
including
Band-Aid?
Peel, Hamilton, Guelph, and Peterborough, will be part of an initiative that will see
Poor
the
guy
shots
drives the bus all the way there, and then nobody there needs help.
60 to 64. We also heard
Them stupid
from
break the
Premier
box
that the
things.
1
When it was
million
glass,
dose of
it would just shatter. Take hammer, smash glass. Okay, bang. And you pull the thing or turn the knob or whatever it is.
That goes live on Monday for those 80 and older.
With these
Now, in
plastic
terms of the
ones,
case
it's hard to break.
Another day above 1,000.
Once you break it, you can only bend it. You can't break the tabs
out.
up.
Over 54,000 tests.
Tell us about the Oak Ridge's Moraine again, bitch.
The positivity rate more than a full percentage points. We're down to 2.5%.
I thought I was bringing you something about the Oak Ridge's Moraine, and I didn't put that in the title because I thought the sausage making soldier getting sentenced, aside from the SS, was more interesting.
It's been almost a year since the start of the pandemic. 6
tagline.
80's Moment Qureshi is following along for us and joins us live with the latest moment.
I have some marijuana. I hope you do
That's
too.
what we
If you don't,
this morning, Sarah, with Mayor Corey talking about tomorrow being the
watch me
1
get
year
out, I
anniversary
guess,
since
and
the
then
WHO
you
declared
have weed and I don't. You watch me
taking
sitting here
time
going,
to thank the
shots.
city, the people involved, frontline
Little
workers,
comments.
healthcare workers, and everybody who
Can you
did
put
their
clouds
part
of smoke
to try to
in
get
the
through the last
emoticon?
12 months.
One of those interviews the other day, I'm sure you all don't like these questions much when they say, well, give me one word that can sort of sum up, what you think has happened in the pandemic. And I think the word partnership. Because in the end, whether it's partnership with community organizations, with each other, with governments working together, it's been
So HIDE means hood. HEID means HOOD. Apart. HIDE.
Now, one of the
Be
things the
a
city
part
council has already
of the
passed
solution.
is
How come nobody uses that?
some
Be
modular
a
housing
part.
in 2 neighborhoods in the city, one on Comer Avenue in Willowdale and one
Be 6 feet
in
apart
Trenton
of the
and
solution.
Cedar
By the way,
Vale in
why
East
did we
York.
standardize
That's
the
an area
feet?
you may
There's
remember
3
from
countries in the
news
world
last
that
week.
use
People
the
in that
imperial
area were
system.
very protective of a
United States,
parking lot in
Myanmar, and
the
a third
neighborhood.
one, I
But Mayor
forget.
Tory says the homeless
Yeah,
community
neither
needs
one of them gives a
place
fuck
to be
about
and a place
these
to have
rules.
dignity.
There's an intimation made
2
by
meters
those who
is 6
make it
feet
in these
and 8
discussions
inches.
that these
If
are
you think
people
8
that
inches doesn't matter,
have tendencies to
ask a
violence
girl.
or criminal activity. They're homeless people. They're
Yes,
homeless people.
it's not an
They are
insignificant
us.
difference.
And I
That cop yesterday, just talking normally. Now, you won't normally see these in the sun, when the sun is coming at this angle. I saw a droplet go. Perfectly straight line,
3 meters.
49, I'm Owen Qureshi. Well, the Ford government is
It's a
facing
22 and a
some
half to be.
questions
That's
about Mark Saunders
a meter
being
and a half
named as a
by 3
special
meters long.
advisor on the redevelopment of Ontario Place. With
He
details
was the last one that showed up, the old white dude.
The Ford government announced last week that former Toronto Police Chief Mark Saunders
There's a different old white dude from the last time.
special advisor to Ontario Place in the redevelopment. He'll be paid $171,000.
One thing about these older cops, they remember that their parents remember war times and famine and all this hard times economically. They remember all them things.
Very important reasons. One is his ability to navigate City Hall.
These cops here think for some reason I owe it to them to make their job easier so they can go home to Barrie and
for over a year and a half.
do whatever they do up there. By the way, Barrie's a fucking crack town.
Province, and this ministry must
It's not a crack neighborhood, it's a crack
and
town.
social bottom line. And that social bottom line includes people of diversity.
As for the redevelopment of Ontario
I hit a
Place, the
whiteout.
minister says an announcement on that will be made.
Well, for perfectly clear, to whiteout.
You're listening
Just
to
coming up
City
the Barrie.
News. Waterfront Toronto has relaunched the process
Pull over in the
to
gas station to
develop
get
the
gas.
Quayside area.
But first,
The agency
I
issued
get out of the car,
requests for
I walk to the side of the road, away from the gas station, to light a cigarette. Guess what? Even the people in the gas station,
Parliament, Sidewalk Labs
that doesn't look that
turn the
suspicious.
site into a high-tech
I'm sure
smart
they've seen a lot of
district
people
from
flipping
concerns
out
over
about that
privacy
snow.
caused the Google sister firm to walk away from the
Seconds,
agreement.
people are asking me for
The
crack.
request for
It's 2 in the
qualification
fucking
is
morning
expected to pick a
in
short list of
Barrie.
candidates. A
I
formal
didn't even see
request
other
for
cars at the
proposals
goddamn gas
will be
station. I don't
announced
know where these
later
people
this
came
year.
from.
And we already knew that Justin
I should have said,
Bieber
yeah, I'll be
is a
back in
Leafs
2 minutes
fan,
and just
but
took
as
off. I
University
should have.
Business Senator Chris
Grew up in a
McCusker
crack
today,
neighborhood.
he
Don't do
released a
those things
video
because you'll get
to
hurt.
prove it.
A tweet from the Beeb says a love letter to the Maple Leafs, and attached is a video for his single.
So I told you I was this. I can listen and talk at the same time.
When spring flooding occurs. Thank you.
Last question. From Patty Hendershard at AM 800. Please go ahead.
Patty?
Hello, Premier. Thanks for taking my question. The Windsor pharmacies today, the appointments they put out, they started taking appointments this morning. They were filled within minutes, and there's waiting lists now. Is there enough of the AstraZeneca to immunize the 60 to 64-year-olds in this region in the pharmacies that they're doing now? How are those numbers there? There's numbers out there, but did you look at to see how many 60 to 64-year-olds are in this region and in Toronto and in Kingston?
I'll pass that over to General Hillier. Thanks.
There's 500 in there.
Thank you for the question. I don't have the numbers of the 60 to 64-year-olds in each of the regions.
Yes, that'll probably hold
but
about
here is
1,000.
the number differential. Our first
Considering they're not
allocation
all
of
the exact
AstraZeneca
same
is
size.
194,000.
On the other hand,
In that age
500
group
and
of 60 to
50% air might be a
64
good
across
mix.
Ontario, there are 1 million people. So clearly, we
It's
don't
not
nearly
like
have enough
tomatoes and
vaccines
garlic.
to do all of that age group in this first batch. We're not sure of the next arrivals of AstraZeneca, but you can be sure as soon as we get them, as soon as we know, we'll publicize that, obviously, and we'll move it to our logistics pipeline and get it to pharmacies and family doctors and carry on along.
Hey,
that same
speaking of
age group until we are
pipelines,
finished all those
this
who are
guy's
eligible
not
and who want to have the vaccine. So 194,000 across Ontario. There are 1 million people in that age group of 60 to 64. So clearly, we do not have enough to do all of them or even close to it yet.
Follow-up? And I'm not sure if I missed this or not, but with the AstraZeneca, will there also be a 4-month wait for the second dose like there is with the Pfizer and the Moderna, or is there enough with the people getting it as soon as it starts in a couple of days to get their second dose within a month or so?
There would be 4-month delay there.
Thanks, everyone.
And I just want to mention to the folks out there, again, I want to thank the frontline healthcare heroes and everyone that's pitched in. You know, we're getting through this, folks. We've all been through a real challenging last year, and I just want to thank everyone for doing an incredible job. And on Monday, be prepared. You know, every region, as the general said, the portal crashes. Don't panic. We'll get it back up. And we have some really great folks. I know on the back end, Amazon, one of the largest companies in the world, are supporting us, and they're used to large volume. But folks, if there's one ask I have, please, if you are not booking for anywhere from 80 plus, please do not go on the line. Please do not call that number. What you're doing is just taking away from someone that's very vulnerable. You know, if you have a mom or dad or grandparent that you got to go online, by all means. But let's just get through this. And we're really on a roll, and we have the infrastructure, so we're ready to go. We just need more vaccines. And the federal government, by the way, I haven't given them a shout out in a while. They're doing a great job and trying to get us as much as possible. So thank you, folks. Everyone's doing a great job.
Okay, there goes Premier Ford this afternoon. A couple of big pieces of information, big pieces of news on this Wednesday. Pharmacies coming on board.
It's too bright for you to see the dirt, but I can see dirt all over it
Saturday when it comes to the vaccination rollout. Going to break it all down with one of the best vaccine researcher, Dr. Iris Gore-Finkel. She's on standby, and we'll talk to her next after checking Global News Radio traffic.
Well, good news all around. Problems on the 401 westbound and the Express Different all cleaned up. And the trouble in the west end on the 401 westbound approaching Mississauga
by 452. That's a gain of 1.4%.
Well, if coffee and muffins and weed, guess what I'm doing? I got all the food groups.
The S&P up by 29 points.
There's seven food groups according to the U.S. Was it U.S. Army?
Shares in GameStop, which have seen
in the
a swing
40s.
of about
Holy
60%. At one point, the stock dropped by 20%. It was also up by 40%. Right now, it's higher by 12% at $276.06. Gold is higher by $4, $17.20. Oil down 13 cents, $63.86. No change from the Bank of Canada on interest rates. Our Moonie right now up by 1/100, 79.11 cents U.S. At the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
Being active is better than being reactive. Dynamic Funds doesn't just take what the market gives. Ask a financial advisor.
Are we talking about nuclear power plants or
at dynamic.ca/advice?
The Wowza Savings Event is on at Food Basics. It's fresher, wowza-er, and distancer. So you can shop safely and save big. New deals every Thursday at Food Basics. Always more for less.
With the Daily Grand Lotto, you can win. Pressure now. Yeah, that's what I thought. You want to make the most important financial decision of your life, and we want to help you make it, no matter what your finances are like. Northwood Mortgage, 416-969-8130, or visit us online at northwoodmortgage.com.
License 10349.
We are Toronto's news talk leader.
That's sexy. Hey, honey, my schedule says we're supposed to talk for 15 minutes.
Carter, I have 4 kids. You need to schedule everything. Everything is scheduled, otherwise it doesn't happen. Things are pretty good in the bedroom over here.
Alan Carter, weekdays at noon or anytime from Apple and Spotify podcasts. We are 640 Toronto.
Love the thrill of a real mystery? Then you'll love the podcasts available from CBC, like Brainwashed.
Their objective was to wipe my memory.
Evil by Design.
Peter Nygaard is the most prolific sexual offender to date.
Uncover Escaping NXIVM.
What is mind control? How is it possible that someone could control someone else's mind?
And someone knows something.
There was a scream and felt like that.
Listen to critically acclaimed true crime podcasts from CBC. Available now on CBC Listen or wherever you get your podcasts.
Cleantha Research in Mississauga is enrolling participants for a clinical research study. Female participants must be of non-childbearing potential, and male participants must be vasectomized or clinically infertile. If you're 18 to 65 years of age, in general good health, and a non-smoker, you may be eligible. Qualified participants will be compensated up to $2,625. Visit at Cleantha.com. At Cleantha.com. You were deep in debt already. Now with the pandemic, the help you thought was coming just hasn't arrived. Don't despair. Call Goldhar now and we can shed the debt for pennies on the dollar today. We will get you back on track. Call Pound Debt or check us out at shedthedebt.ca. Goldhar & Associates, licensed insolvency trustee. Goldhar, we help. Call now at Pound Debt.
He said vaccine expert on the line.
Shedthedebt.ca.
Found this. I found lots of things.
Welcome back to Jeff McArthur on Global News Radio 640 Toronto.
The sister station to this station is Edge 102.1, CFNY, which home of the new music, the new rock. Back in the 90s, that's the music they would have played. We'll just do it now. It's just weirdo shit.
Toronto from the premier. I want to start with Family Doctors.
You want to hear Nirvana on the radio? That was the station.
Saturday when it comes to the vaccination
Smashing Pumpkins, all that.
There's been some debate. We've heard from the
Ongoing
Ontario
history
Medical
of
Association.
that was
Are you ready? Are Family Doctors ready for this?
I just
Alan
received
Cross,
my first dose on Thursday.
He used to do
So
like
that'll
20
give you
minutes,
an
45
idea.
minutes, an
My
hour on the
staff
air.
got their first dose on Saturday.
Now he gets
So
2
they'll
minutes
be
to
ready
advertise his
when we're fully
podcast.
vaccinated, I believe.
He knows a
So
shitload about your
I
favorite
haven't
bands.
heard anything about receiving any doses just yet. Unfortunately, despite all of my patients asking me when they're going to get it, I only wish I had it in my refrigerator right now. I think it's going to be in select places. I don't think it's going to be all of Ontario. You know, certainly they're going to aim for the hot spots, of which I work in one: Toronto, Windsor, Essex, Kingston, and hopefully Peel Region. But don't forget, Jeff, we're only receiving 195,000 doses? That's not a lot. You know, so I'm excited, but I'm not convinced that it's going to be getting there by Saturday.
All right, so anybody who's 65 plus that are waiting by their phone for a call from their family doctor on Saturday, the wait might be a little longer.
Well, this isn't actually meant for individuals over the age of 65. They're aiming for those under. It's for those between 60 and 64 years of age. And why is that? Because they're going to be giving out the AstraZeneca. And the AstraZeneca, as you may recall, was approved by Health Canada for all ages. And then the National Advisory
You said a vaccine
Committee on
expert. Who the fuck is
Immunization,
this?
backed off and said, no. Let's only give it to those who are less than 65. And why?
Agency of Canada and the governments of Ontario, BC, and Alberta, the National Advisory Committee on Immunization says the gap between doses is acceptable in situations where vaccine supplies are limited, and federal officials note 4 months is a maximum wait time, not a requirement. Cormac McSweeney, Parliament Hill.
You're listening to 680 News. It's 1:49. Well, the summer movie season in at least one U.S. city is one step closer to being salvaged. We get more details from ABC's Jason Nathanson.
It's a great time for the movie business. Movie theaters in Los Angeles could open up again starting March 19th, a year after they closed because of the pandemic. The county moved Tuesday to a less restrictive tier, which would allow theaters to reopen with limited capacity. A move that could mean more blockbusters might start finding their way onto the big screen.
Less than half the theaters in North America are currently open. And the CFL and XFL are putting their heads together to see if there's a match.
CFL Commissioner Randy Ambrosie revealed today the league has entered into serious discussions with the XFL about the possibility of forming a partnership. The two sides are looking to identify opportunities for the leagues to collaborate, innovate, and grow.
Okay, well, the top of the hour comes quick. So, but although the first 3 minutes, we got 13 minutes. I must fucking twist this. More pennies. This is what will be left.
I'm the opposite of Microsoft. I'm big and hard. Let that resonate. Maybe a little more. I got that lyricism sprinkled with a lot of flow. I made my sauce authentic on a chopping board. Baby, it's spicy, be careful. Don't shake the bottle too much, be gentle. It's kinda high on the Scoville level. Don't burn your tongue, don't get it in your eyes too. I turned reality into a lucid dream. I turned a lucid dream into whipped cream. Cash rules, nothing around me. I only use it for paper planes, actually. Self-care, yeah, I got a lot of that. No food tastes good as having a six-pack. You should cut your snacks same way you cut that crack. Then you wouldn't look fat as a Cadillac. Baby, looking like a snack. I can see you did them squats on the squat rack. I don't need a beat, I don't really need a track. You can be my producer with your booty clap. I turned reality into a lucid dream. I turned a lucid dream into whipped cream. Cash rules, nothing around me. I only use it for paper planes, actually. Baby, keep your pants on.
So one thing after another is gonna get fucked with. Thank you. As soon as I sit down, it starts working.
We be in court, the judge is getting cross. You robbed the bank, baby. You took your mask off. You took 100K and left it at my front door. Thought it was funny, nice joke. Cause you know I bail you out no matter what the cost. I need that flavor, baby.
So everybody I trade with is an idiot when the crunch comes.
I said it cause I got the sauce. Shit, cause I got the sauce. Hey, nothing on my wrist, nothing on my neck, nothing on my fist, it's all on my check. Don't you get the gist? I got the confidence, don't need a brand on my chest. Hey, I know what my value is. Hey, wealthy people don't need jewelry. Hey, look at 21 Savage and Bill Gates. Hey, the rap industry got a complex. I turned reality into a lucid dream. I turned a lucid dream into whipped cream. Cash rules, nothing around me. I only use it for paper planes, actually. I'm the opposite of Microsoft, I'm big and hard.
Somebody has got 2 long guns and a handgun in his truck.
I got that lyricism sprinkled with a lot of flow.
He crashed his truck through the gate and then armed himself and had a standoff for 2 hours. That's not what they told us. Slightly different version of that.
I turned reality into a lucid dream.
I know I stuck the phone in the fridge. Damn thing was hot.
Cash rules, nothing around me. I only use it for paper planes, actually.
Oh, so wait, this piece here must have been about 2 grams before. It's 1.79. The 16th. That's alright. I got to keep your numbers.
Baby, looking like a snack. I can see you did some squats on the squat rack. I don't need a beat, I don't really need a track. You can be my producer with your booty clap. I turned reality into a lucid dream. I turned a lucid dream into whipped cream. Cash rules, nothing around me. I only use it for paper planes.
Oh, I know. If I become a pirate, I'll be Clearbeard. It seems so. I should. If I had a proper sample container. No, I plucked them out and I throw them on the ground. I don't like saving them would be weird. But there's something scientific there.
Nice joke. Cause you know I bail you out no matter what the cost. I need that flavor, baby. Shit, cause I got the sauce. Cause I got the sauce. I said it cause I got the sauce. Shit, cause I got the sauce. Shit, cause I got the sauce.
See the black stuff on the protective paper there? That weird black stuff? Oh, you can't see it, but it's there. I don't normally drink iced tea, but I found it, and I read the ingredients. There's nothing too bad on it. I need water and sugar right now. I don't even need much. This one's about Trudeau, I think. It's Belgium. This one's about Trudeau. Keep it up. Keep it up. The goof troop has arrived. Hello. You just killed the sound, didn't you? No. This one's about Justin Trudeau. It's Belgian French.
Looks like a dog, so it must be a highlight. Panama Papers, FF-30, premies mandaten, allemaal zeker. Frauduleuze inzetwisserij, boeken, voedselbank, doodgevroren daklozen in de grote steden. Meer en meer belastingen, dat een afschakelplan. Vastgoedmafialen, misdaadsleden. Veel te veel zaken, veel te weinig vetzakken, veel te veel redenen voor veel te weinig protest. Loop ik met de kudde mee, terwijl ik met de kraan lopen. Kan niet langer verder zo, alles is te duur voor mij.
Zeg maar.
Ik ga niet met je mis voor mij. Alles is te duur voor mij. Alles is te duur voor mij.
had somebody tell me he was going to call me Sticks because the weed had sticks in it. Buddy, I didn't sell you that. I don't know you. And Twigs is somebody else's name. I don't think you're too swift, bro.
Adrenaline door mijn lijf, maak je geld voor de verwarming. Te veel stress door al die rekeningen waar dat ik op achterloop. Niks te verdienen. Binnen in de schimmelwijk, muziek is te duur geworden. Alles wordt verwaarloosd, corrupte flieken, magistraten, politiekers, marginalen. Allemaal de schuld van het monetaire systeem. Kreml die praktijken, stijgende stroomvoorzieningsprijs. Er valt hier niks te rapen, zolang je de liefde niks niet afneemt. Koekjes kunnen pakken, gele groene paarse klappen. Weet met schooien achter stappen op, krijg geld om op de bus te stappen. Omies vliegen in de bak.
16 milligrams of caffeine in. Thank you. I'll only have to drink about 8 of them.
Iedereen rondom mij leidt, want alles is te duur voor mij. Alles is te duur voor mij. Je merkt het, ja, nee, alles is te duur voor mij. Ik ga niet met genoeg voor mij. Nou, alles is te duur voor mij. Alles is te duur voor mij.
Oh, and how I found this was pure fluke. One of them is using a name the same as somebody else somewhere else. There's no connection between the two. And I doubt that they would have seen each other because they're both searching in different languages. So even if they searched, the search engine wouldn't show them a different language from a different country or some random name.
Man, it's easy on the mic with you now, man. Straight to your heart. You know the clues to that.
The links are somewhere down there to all these. It's too harsh. We get it. Your soul is rolling. We get it. I can't handle that right now. That's just Cheech and Chong. I'm hearing hits from the bar in that one place. There is an official master plan for the Toronto Island archipelago. There's 17 or 18 islands. Even the map makers aren't sure. The problem is, I've been there in and around all of them, but the people that made the maps didn't work.
You never stepped in my shoes. I'm pulling up in a few. Niggas don't know what to do. I'm taking all of the loot. Whoa, I got my feet from the bay. We can be sipping all day. I got the blood in my veins. Yeah, I got more gold on my chain. Nigga, I'm going insane. I'm taking all of the hate.
I've been planting shit everywhere in this neighborhood.
I disappear like a ghost. I keep my ducks in a row. I keep that bitch on her toes. Whoa, when you step into my zone, give me a hit on my phone. I get it over the low.
Somewhere along the way, people forgot that you have to help the plant grow too if you're gonna eat it and live off of it.
Chilling with the homies makes it easier. I can sip on 40s, like to sip on this all night. I can sip on 40s, like to sip on this all night.
I'll just have to wear it in the rain. See what happened there? Within seconds. Within just...
I can sip on 40s, like to sip on this all night.
You know how you clean it.
I can sip on 40s, like to sip on this all night.
Now, if it did a different type of tone for each hour or something, that would make sense. And by the way, how come no computer lets you do that? So you know the British don't run anything anymore. Their clocks go off every 15 fucking minutes. You will know what time, if nothing else. If the British are running your local area, you will know what fucking time it is. I thought that was damn near finished. Oh, wait, it's 3 minutes left.
What are you talking to me?
Oh, I guess two.
Look at the price on the jeans. I got no time for a tease. No time for a tease. Money is all that I breathe. I got my tricks in my sleeve. My bitch a bit of a freak.
Big back up the back, they got your new snapback.
You never stepped in my shoes. I'm pulling up in a few. Niggas don't know what to do. I'm taking all of the loot. Whoa,
Fuck is this? See, it's fucking. Let's fuck with the bandana.
All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them.
It's not as simple as cover the receding hair. That's no, because that's excess testosterone, and some girls know that. The hair in general is too fucking messy. I keep it tied back and I cut it up. At the end of the day, it looks like I just woke up. Wait, that doesn't sound right. It looks like I just.
I just had a premonition last night. It's when I started reminiscing last night. I'm the homie stabbed me in my back twice. That's the choice you make, and that's the price you fucking pay. Like this, that, doing donuts in the lot. Don't stop at a red light. Stop walking flock from the flock. Jump walk from the cop on the cell with the fuck, with the fuck, with the fuck. Is you feeling? I don't know. Going ham in this bitch. Shit the same. What you saying? Going back to the crib, big muscle.
Somehow I set it up. Of all the options of food I had to stick in my mouth, the healthiest ones are the closest.
That's when I started reminiscing last night. I'm the homie stabbed me in my back twice. That's the choice you make, that's the price you fucking pay. Like
I was hiding in amongst all the junk.
That's when I started reminiscing last night. I'm the homie stabbed me in my back twice. That's the choice you make, that's the price you fucking pay. Like
Fabriqué par pour la compagnie Réfléchissement Coca-Cola Canada, Toronto, Ontario. This is made here.
I hate the way.
I know you make all them chocolate bars here.
I hate the way.
We have 2 chocolate factories. They're around here. We have a Jello factory, 2 chocolate factories. The company that makes the meat and cans and hot dogs and all that's within walking distance. It's a Jello factory within a kilometer.
For all the niggas who are close by, if you ain't told to please stay on the Lord's side. Big gun, eagle eye, that'll get your soul fried.
Somehow these idiots back the truck up with acid. The fittings are the same to put it into the wrong tank. Release a cloud of sulfuric acid into the neighborhood.
If it's me you wanna harm, G. Shots make your heart stop, I'm out in the heartbeat. Always on my feet, cause niggas sneak for the right price. When these dark streets, I keep it close like a nightlight. When I let it go, they taking off like a race. Niggas always rap, why you think this mask on my face? Why you think I'm on this block making cash different ways? Living to these heads with shots, pushing back your ways. Your mom catching dreams when my niggas sit and laugh. But it's a straight face when I'm sticking for the stash. John knows I got some stacks at my base, but I'm still robbing niggas like I'm flat.
Tell us that again.
Still shooting shots, no shoes, get them laced. Do the same dirty, get away with no trace.
Grinding, that's the motto we live by, put time in.
No, I think of it's grinding up the weed.
Till I stack so high, right? For all the niggas who are close by, if you ain't told to please stay on the Lord's side. Big gun,
you know what's funny? The whole front is in French. All of this is French. French market. Which means this is from Canada, Quebec. Made in China. What's missing? Fabriqué en Chine, motherfucker.
You're fucking with the wrong one. If my niggas broke, I'm a break.
Ne pas montre au micro-ondes. Montre. M-O-T-T-R-E.
Certain niggas shouldn't chip, better off with a chat. Certain niggas shouldn't grip, freeze when they see that bitch. Freeze when they see coolies. But it's nothing like the movie. Bunch of young youths with nothing but a
which means I can go to China or work from home here and proofread all their labels. If they fuck that up and they don't find out till it gets here, the product might not be legal for sale here. I know. Just enough Chinese to make this work.
So come try something. I love guns. And my
girl loves me.
Strap on my side like a wife and a huggy. Day shift, night shift, no kids, honey. Rubber band money. Slap on the city. Come try jack me. I brought the strap with me. I brought the strap with me.
To address the remaining gap.
What time?
We are working hard to secure agreement to 2021 Safe Restart funding from the other governments for all cities across Canada, including the City of Toronto.
I am determined to secure this support. These ongoing discussions with both the province of Ontario and the government of Canada cover a number of areas of need, including, in particular, I will mention the support of housing. The ask that we have made in that respect to care better and more effectively and more efficiently for some of our most needy citizens. With the additional funding announced today and last week, less than a month after the approval of the city 2021 budget by the council, and the requested support demonstrate that all governments are working together to protect services.
By email transfer.
We'll turn it in. I guess they're doing it at, this is 7 minus 5. 19 is 7, minus 5 is 2, right? Right? No, I fucking hate you people. So I don't know if this is true because I read it on the internet and I didn't fact check it, but supposedly one of the guys from Coldplay, his uncle, is a big part of why we have daylight savings time. I knew I hated those motherfuckers for a reason.
Native American women alone go missing every year, not to mention the countless...
Cans and arrows. Cans and arrows. What are you talking about? Cans and arrows.
People,
What?
politics, land, and water. I'm Glenn Wheeler.
They interpolate that, motherfucker.
You already know what it is.
We got to get in the headspace to listen to Toronto City Council.
That's us. Raise a shot to another fucking year. Light that blunt if you highlight air. Start that line if you don't fucking care. I do drugs, I do drugs, I do drugs.
He's moving into like R&B type. It's all fine and well, but I can't listen to it.
I do drugs, I do drugs, I do drugs. I do drugs, I do drugs, I do drugs. Winner, chicken dinner, I'm gonna eat you up. Right in the club, I'm gonna have a party, I'm gonna live it up. Take another pill for another shot. Here's another death, I can never get enough. Need enough so wicked less. Yeah, I'm a dirty ass, grimy line starter. That's how I keep my motivation up. You find with just a chord, that way can be on top of my zone. I don't need to scatter my thoughts when I'm reciting lyrical miracles. Everything else to me don't matter. Watch your back. I'm a vicious ass rapper. Fuck the jelly before the peanut butter. Put it back in the cracker, Ritz slapper. I'm a drug blaster. Always doing what I want. Try and stop me, motherfucker. Raise a shot to another fucking year. Let that blunt if you highlight air.
This should mean that theoretically, sorry, the adapter I just found.
I do drugs, I do drugs.
Look at this blood and strawberry jam up in that bitch. Anyway.
I do drugs, I do drugs, I do drugs.
Videos off that phone I always carry around.
I'm a
Need an adapter.
like it's a fresh doobie. No, you silly flamers, not that cheerleading movie. My mind is kind of screwy from drugs I'm doing, but I don't think that I'm really losing. All of the boozing and shooting has got my mind oozing. These lyrics for you floozies. Don't say you know me, I lost all my homies. They all overdose shit. You ain't in my phobia. Where they at? Just ate a gummy, now everything is floating. Snort a couple headies, I must keep going. Gotta keep flowing. These drugs take funding. Always steady
still haven't tried.
fucking running.
I'm show them to somebody, see if they see
Another
it.
fucking year.
I've never seen animal trees shaped like Christmas trees with such hard edges on them. Like somebody punched these out by hand. The machine didn't make them. This is to pass inspection. Doesn't smell like weed. No, it usually doesn't. Over the last 15 years or so, my people have bred the weed to not have a smell. It's unfortunate. I love that smell.
All day, hit the ground running.
Oh, you can smell it, you can smell it.
I can do anything I want. 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 I can do anything I want.
You can laugh at this and not believe it, but my BO smells like weed.
I do drugs.
And why am I wearing the deodorant? A whole bunch of reasons, but it gives me skin tags, and it says if you give you skin tags, don't use it. So I don't use it. You don't know what a skin tag is. You get one of those growing on you. What the fuck is that? C'est 19-11, c'est 19-11.
kicking it with lessons. It's my elevator weapon. Made a whole brand up the brands. You been flexing. Right young kid with the kids, so you check it. You ain't never making a second. You ain't listen. It's not enough. I need more guava. Head filled up with drama. I might pop like a pinata. We been getting guala. Point to me who feeling bothered. Take a look, your father. I'ma leave you up with nada. We been getting so much guap on the block non-stop. I don't know when this shit is gonna end.
I know everything right on what I know.
Getting so much guap that I feel it getting to me.
Even the computer screen right now.
Getting so much guap from the block non-stop. I don't know when this shit is gonna end. Right, way up to the top. I'm just getting so much guap that I feel it getting to me. Yeah, it's getting to me. Yeah, it's getting to me. Yeah, it's getting to me. Yeah, just feel it in me. I'ma buy the whole thing. I just rolled some green. Got some red on Supreme. It's the fourth nosebleed. Swim my patience to eat. Empty looking drippy. Haunting to a degree. Here's some swap, just a breeze. Hold the watt like a beam. Cause it's deep.
Who will engage in outreach efforts as
280 community ambassadors.
One more part of a comprehensive.
Nigga, I never heard from you. These people don't know what you're talking about.
3 million people.
I ain't saying I'm the one they'd pick necessarily, but I'm one of the people they might be willing to talk to if they knew I was going to go talk to your ass. Because if nothing else, they know I'm not going to change their message or your message.
Housing and disability, so
you avoid people. I'm not the only one like that out there.
Plans for the COVID-19
they avoid us like crazy.
And it builds on the work of the city's COVID-19 Equity Action Plan.
How about educating people about ventilation in buildings?
In December of last year.
It's really not that hard to understand once you start reading it. Like buildings, houses, all that shit.
Cranny will have exception to get vaccinated. Because the sooner
the engineers and designers, the more they fix the problems, the more people want to fuck them up.
This pandemic. We are all in this together, and we all need to get vaccinated together.
You're not going to get shot for your skin color.
Cost so many people their health.
You don't have people throwing blood in your face.
Cost businesses and cost jobs.
For racism, and then trying to play it reverse racism.
It will open doors. It will open businesses, and it will lead
that
to
will never happen to you.
It will be the greatest economic recovery in the history.
All the people protesting outside your condo, in theory, could get you evicted.
I would like to ask Chief Payne
even though he owns it.
A very positive update from the
even if you own it.
Task Force.
Yes, they can. That will never happen to him.
Thank you, Mayor Tory. Before I begin my formal remarks today, I would like to acknowledge that it was 365 days ago today that we first activated our Emergency Operations Center in response to COVID-19. Our teams have worked.
You locked down the fucking city and province on the 17th, motherfucker. I know, because I'm the only person in Toronto that got drunk on
as it has evolved and developed. I owe a huge debt of gratitude to each and every member of our team who continues to do their best to help us manage this emergency and to get to the point where we can return to all the things we miss so badly. Thank you, one and all. You continue to make us all very proud.
I found that
as Mayor Tory announced earlier this week, on March 17, the following city-operated COVID-19 immunization clinics will begin initial vaccinations for Toronto residents.
Remember, I kept making notes of Friday the 13th. 8 months of Friday the 13th.
Metro Toronto Convention Center, Scarborough Town Center, and the Toronto Congress Center.
I believe that was Friday, and then the Monday.
These clinics will operate 7 days per week, from 11 a.m.
Today's only the 10th,
daily.
I'm getting confused here.
As you will recall, we were asked to bring the Metro Toronto Convention Center clinic online.
When I say I'm getting confused, I don't get confused.
As a proof of concept clinic. During the proof of concept operations, we had the opportunity to evaluate all aspects of clinic operations, including client registration and scheduling. As a result of unforeseen reductions in vaccine availability, operations at the initial proof of concept clinic were suspended after 2 days. In February, we again brought this proof of concept clinic online in order to administer the second doses of vaccine for those who received their first dose in the clinic in January.
During the
earlier proof of concept operations, we worked with the province of Ontario to pilot the developing provincial booking system.
We have way more real drug dealers and
the complete provincial booking system will be fully deployed across Ontario on March 15th. In order to avoid delaying the upcoming launch of city-run clinic operations, I'm very pleased to advise that we have worked with our provincial partners to make it possible for eligible Toronto residents
who are 80 years of age or older to schedule their vaccine appointments by leveraging the provincial booking system framework prior to the full system going live on March 15th. Beginning on the morning of March 12th, the province will once again bring our initial clinics onto the ongoing booking system pilot, such that eligible residents will be able to schedule their appointments for vaccination without delay. This builds upon our previous proof of concept operations completed in collaboration with the province of Ontario. I want to thank our provincial partners for making it possible for this to happen ahead of the full system going live on March 15th. These 3 clinics are opening 2 weeks ahead of schedule and in direct response to increased vaccine availability. Approximately 133,000 first dose appointments will be available in the booking system between March 17 and April 11 across the 3 initial clinics. This is in addition to the associated second dose appointments that will also be scheduled. Additional appointments will become available in the system after March 15th as we continue to expand clinic operations in response to the availability of COVID-19 vaccine. This achieves 2 important and shared goals.
I'm going to open up a canning company and we'll call it
this allows Toronto residents born in 1941 or earlier to schedule their COVID-19 vaccine appointment in one of the 3 upcoming City of Toronto operated clinic locations without having to delay the commencement of those clinics.
That's child resistant.
Secondly, this allows us to introduce a larger volume of registration and scheduling traffic online within the provincial system in a methodical manner ahead of the launch of the full system on March 15th.
Cannabis marijuana.
While the call center functionality that forms part of the full provincial booking system will not be available until March 15th, eligible Toronto residents will be able to book their vaccination appointments online beginning March 12th. When the system goes online on March 12th, eligible residents will be able to access the booking system by going to toronto.ca/COVID-19 and clicking on a registration button that will be prominent on the city's website, taking you into the registration system where your eligibility for vaccination will be confirmed. You will need to enter the following information as part of the booking process. The information found on your Ontario photo health card, your birth date, your postal code,
burning bridges we need. Fuck it, we don't need these. Fuck it, we don't need these. We've been getting so much guap on the block non-stop. I don't know when this shit is gonna end. On the way up to the top, I'm just getting so much guap that I feel it getting to me.
I could plug my headphone. I got them right here. They're right here now. Just in case I could plug them, I could listen. If I had to, I could go split screen and put off the web. Here we go. What's wrong? The AI is getting confused because everything's the same shape and material. There's pieces of metal everywhere. There's some about this species that are
Chugging and finessing, this my elevated weapon. Made a whole brand off the brands you been flexing. Pumped up kid with the kids, so you check it. You ain't never wrecking the second you ain't listen. It's not enough, yo, I need more guap, Head filled up with drama, I might pop like a piñata. We been getting caught up, point to me who feeling bothered. Take a look, your father, I'ma leave you up with nada. We been getting so much guap on the block non-stop. I don't know when this shit is gonna end. Right, on the way up to the top, I'm just getting so much guap that I feel it getting to me. Yeah, it's getting to me. We've been getting so much guap from the block non-stop. I don't know when this shit is gonna end. Right, on the way up to the top, I'm just getting so much guap that I feel it getting to me. Yeah, it's getting to me. Yeah, it's getting to me. Yeah, it's getting to me. Yeah, just feel it in me. I'ma buy the whole team. Might just throw up some green. Got some red on some green.
2 more years, my credit starts over. I'm gonna get a mortgage and buy up all these. I'm just waiting for the Detroit donut hole effect to happen. We'll call it the Tim Hortons, the Timbit effect.
Fuck it, we don't need these. Fuck it, we don't need these.
We call it the donut effect, right? When all these people move out, we'll be in the center. We'll start the donut hole effect.
You know? On the way up to the top, I'm just getting
You got somewhere else to run to?
Me
neither. I'm just more realistic about it. Oh shit, that track is a lot shorter than I realized. Matches, we have uranium. I thought that was on 2 different circuits. What the hell just happened? Oh, no, it's not. The other one. Okay, wait. I'm confused. In the box. My grandfather used to keep his tools in ammunition boxes. 1990 Dodge Ram long bed 150. Black. I don't think you could. It was like this off gray, like almost black. I'm a snow leopard.
Hospital, and 53 people are in the ICU. I'm sorry to have to report an additional 4 deaths today. You've just heard from the chief about clinics that the city is going to be operating starting.
Tomato plants. These people are dying of the common cold. Remember that. Oh, it's only 4 today. You people are about as sensible as drunk drivers. So my grandfather served in Korea, but he would carry. He had ammunition boxes. I think it said 7.62 or something, 5.56 something. They're this fucking big. I carried them all the fucking time. I don't know if that was his way of They're about as heavy as ammunition because they're full of fucking tools. All this dumb shit I got no box to put in.
What you motherfucking mouth? Yeah, bitch, you heard. That's what I said. Yeah. What you motherfucking mouth? Cause I know what you about. You see it well out, but don't do a thing to back you about. I'm surrounding me. I'm a
This week, we speak with just elected Regional Chief Paul Prosper and to the new minister responsible for Indigenous Affairs and Reconciliation for Newfoundland and Labrador.
You got $5? Buy me a
I'm
coffee.
Glenn Wheeler, and this is Mi'kmaq Matters, a podcast about Mi'kmaq.
I didn't make the coffee cost $5 fucking. That's your fault. I go to the $2 coffee place.
This is episode 1.
Whoever made this beat.
I like the idea of the 24-ounce coffee, but that last little bit.
I ain't no nigga. I'ma ride for my motherfucking natives. Most likely I'ma die with my finger on the trigger. I've been grinding outside all day with my natives, and I ain't going in unless I'm with my native, 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 my motherfucking native, my 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 motherfucking native. I'ma ride, I'ma die, and I'ma do it for my natives. So hooping and we're hooping, and I do it for my natives. For my natives, I put on for my natives. I show out for my natives, for my natives. I do this for my natives. I do this for my people. I do this for my tribe. I do this for myself. I gotta stay alive. My natives know what's up, cause my natives going down. Got my natives all around, from my town to your town. It ain't no problem, we do the damn thing. Posted with my BF, 59, 50, 50, all red, everything, and you heard me right. I be swooping and we're hooping all damn night. I do this for my natives. I do this for my natives. Keep on hating, but I'm just demonstrating. I'm just demonstrating the ways I was shown. I was red for the rest of. You don't want problems, me and my natives, yeah, we always gotta solve some. Cause that means so we can eat and get about
You have an unopened saved post from you. Wow, thanks. You showed me my name. Thank you. You expecting me to have multiple accounts on this shit? Oh, Lord. I guess I could do that. Proof of concept. $50 and an internet connection.
Waiting for my natives for the duration of my life. Land reservation is the place I wanna find. So you better recognize I'm not stopping till I cop until my day of expiration and they hit my end.
Oh, this is gonna be a stupid day. It's not gonna be a slow day. It's gonna be a stupid day.
Now I'm about to put y'all with some new shit. Flip that shit.
I saw NW. I saw the W. I didn't pay attention to anything else. NW manufactured with an X. NXW.
Come on. Walk with us. If we were in a gang, I'd bang on the bitches, leaving all the bitches, sleeping with the bitches. If we were in a gang, I'd let it be known I'm not alone. We lurking outside your home. If we were in a gang, I wouldn't hesitate. I'd be a renegade and walk around and regulate.
It's one of those weird coincidences opposite.
I'd join the government and try to rule the world like I was someone that the devil said.
Gangsta, gangsta.
Everybody shouted, labeled as a gang, might as well be all about it. So who's the enemy? I guess we got beef. Looking like a warrior, but feeling like a chief. Nobody said tripping. This is tripping. And once you get your first dose, you become an addict. If I'm a gang member, then I'm a loyal one. Because I'm here to represent and get the job done. We put in overtime, protecting what we got. So if they think they're gonna shut us down, I think not. Taking the underground, just like you never seen. If I was in a gang, my team would be a big machine. Straight record shit, not giving a fuck. When I'm looking for the loot, everybody's getting stuck. Let it go. When we come around, bitch, we united. I'm gonna keep it real. If we a gang, we about to riot.
If we were a gang, I'd do the same shit I do now. My psychopathic mind thought soldiers ready to move out. Now who's down to move house? Real life shootouts. My killers run up in your crib and make that bitch my new house. Now do bounce before this ass 140 rounds. Check it, I am the shady one. You read it in the articles. I'm crazy with a gun. I find the body in a particle. And I just limbo, come with the kinfo, just be info. But I like you window, all I do is swim, bro. Get a piss, skin slow, gonna get you back, stretch out like a limo with a twin fold. You
got smoked in Broad Day in the entertainment district / fashion district. I'm not sure what they went around the corner. I guess it's the entertainment district. Extended fucking team hanging down the bed. And a tour rag. I couldn't pick a tour rag out right now. No, I've seen them, and I've seen 3 different vehicles that didn't look the same to me that all said tour rag on the back. So I give up. You put an Equinox next to a Tucson and a you can't tell them apart. They're almost like they've got differences, but just barely. I know, because they got 3 of them up front here, sometimes all white. The 3, one of each. Have you ever seen me looking at 2 cars like back and forth like that? Take a look at what cars I'm looking at, and you'll understand quickly what's wrong. I can't tell the fucking 2 apart.
Showers of oil and sludge, dark even soot in the sky. We like zombies, we gangbang. You best respect us. You can't eject us. You can't reject us. You can't accept us. You wanna get correct or deflect us. As a between used to attack us in the armies, churches, schools, and cop forces. Clean red, you clean golf courses.
So how will that be determined? Well, in the end, the threshold will determine what category you're in.
At the end of the day,
are set as part of the framework itself. So there is a threshold for going into red that is.
I cannot find the cigarette case because it's underneath the cigarettes.
We're having continuous discussions.
You cannot outsmart stupid. Don't even kid yourself. You're just a monkey that knows how to use drugs and start fires. That's all you are. You know how to get drunk. You're a monkey that knows how to get drunk on purpose. That's all. Nothing wrong with that, but that's what we are.
Certainly not least the state of the economy.
Animals get drunk by accident. That's why it doesn't ruin their fucking lives.
In terms of the well-being of people overall.
Hey, this fruit tastes funny.
The framework is what it is.
I like this.
We make a recommendation to the province, and they will decide. And we'll look forward to having, the very intense phase of those discussions. Probably not.
I want to see a herd of elephants accidentally get drunk. With all the monkeys hanging out.
My next question for Dr. Davila. New stat scan numbers that came out today suggest the majority.
What happened to those blood samples?
During the second wave. Didn't come from.
Did anybody send those back in? What kind of with all the scams going on? You get a package in the mail says it's from the government. Here, take your blood with this needle and send it back to us. How many people threw that out or called the cops? This ain't real, officer. No, they want me to take blood and shit. That's not real.
Our measures.
Find out it is.
Actions that we take and the impact that we're having in terms of controlling COVID-19 and any other impacts associated with those measures taken. That's simply responsible public health practice. But I would say this. Every action that we have taken has been guided by the best available science, by the data we see on the ground, and certainly has all been with the clear objectives in mind of reducing the negative impact of COVID-19, saving lives in particular, ensuring that we protect our healthcare system, and trying to protect our society as well from the broader health and social impacts related to the COVID-19 pandemic. So we will continue to do that on an ongoing basis. We'll continue to study those numbers, and we'll adjust our actions in accordance with those numbers.
Chew on those dandelions, kids. That'll help you broken, amputated stumpy.
I think I heard you say that when people are able to book on the city side for a mass immunization clinic beginning this Friday, they'll also be able to book the second dose appointment.
They could just turn this into a long-term care home. What these people do, James.
Thank you. Yes, you're correct. In fact, not only will someone have an opportunity to book their second dose appointment, when someone accesses the booking system and books their first dose in a city-operated clinic, they will be required as a functionality of the system to book their second appointment at the same time. That is, those parameters have been set in the system in accordance with the provincial dosing.
Yeah, but you don't know when you're going to have that second dose available. And you're telling them to book 4 months ahead of time, bro.
That is based on an interval.
You're not seeing an inherent problem with that. Anybody that organizes things,
I understand that correctly.
You already see a problem with this. Okay, you're forcing them to pick a date, but it's 4 months ahead, and you don't know when you're going to have the product to do your end either.
That's good for me. Thanks. Okay, thanks.
Yeah,
and then next up we have Denise Pegler.
It's like telling Facebook you promise to come back every so often.
Hi, thank you for taking my question.
You don't, we'll delete your account.
The Ontario government announced today Toronto will be part of this initiative of
I propose
having
we bring back the old
doctors
Facebook with no messaging.
contact patients to book appointments. And
Oddest thing about
this is for
I
the
like that part.
Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine. I'm wondering if you can information about this.
I'm going to picture of some farmer somewhere in
I think you
Asia
were
with a
asking for
yak
specific information about the
Ford logo
AstraZeneca pilot
hanging
with
off the
primary care
harness or
providers in Toronto.
Yes, so
Ford,
for
Oxford.
residents 60 years old to 64 years old.
Never
Yes,
breaks
so
down.
this is one of the many new programs that's being announced. It is in its early phase.
foreign
It's
car.
a pilot project and undertaking. Again,
Hey,
our
don't use
goal
that
has
fucking
been
word.
to try
Damn
to
it,
work
what
with
is
all of
wrong
our
with you?
partners, our provincial government partners, community partners, healthcare partners, hospital, all players involved in vaccination administration to ensure that there are as many options as possible to provide vaccine to the residents of Toronto in as efficient and effective a manner as is possible. So this is a new announcement. I believe that there are a number of particular primary care practices who are engaged in this pilot undertaking. They will be providing that AstraZeneca vaccine to a select number of patients to whom they will be offering
we buried
that
6
vaccine.
fucking people this year for fucking
in that age group
military unnecessary fucking flights.
So we'll look forward to seeing how that pilot
Getting smashed into the side of a
learn
house or
from it,
something, or
and
scattered
from
on the
there,
roof of a
hopefully expand efforts with vaccine administration so that we can achieve that goal of vaccinating as many Torontonians as quickly as possible in the most efficient way as is possible.
Thank you so much, Dr. Davila. And just a follow-up
Don't you always feel like you have to say thank you to the doctor?
Mississauga Mayor.
I don't get it twisted. I say thank you to the people that bring me the food in the jail cell. I'll say thank you to the guy that brings the garbage can too. Yeah, I thank you for bringing it, and I thank you for taking it away.
Minister, just wondering
Fuck you, he doesn't have to do that.
Toronto has a number
What's he get out of the
how
jail?
many,
He gets to sit out a bit later when all you idiots are locked up, and
sites
he gets an
you're
extra
planning to do
sandwich or some bullshit.
So I believe this is something that was negotiated between the province and certain primary care providers. If I have my numbers correct, I believe it's 11 primary care practices that will be participating in this pilot to start off with.
You hear the guy going door to door.
that number
Well, if I have food I don't want, I give it to you because I can't give it to anybody else. You get to keep what you want and give it to whoever.
Good afternoon. My question is for Chief Peg.
I got 3 bags of milk one morning. They knew I was sick. None of these people said you're not like, not one of them.
Take me through the genesis
If you can see in the jail socks and shoes, you can see my whole leg.
how you've been testing it and what concerns, what we've seen in BC and also repeated warnings from the province today, repeated warnings about just the threat of website crashing due to demand. I'm just wondering what assurances you've received that we're not just being set up for failure here.
Sure, thank you. So the genesis of where we are today and where we will be beginning on the 12th actually date back all the way back into late December, and then of course culminating with early when the province of Ontario asked the city of Toronto to accelerate the opening of the first clinic under a proof of concept operation. And of course, that was at Metro Toronto Convention Centre. So during the course of those operations, we were also asked to evaluate all aspects of clinic operations, including scheduling. And we undertook that. That, of course, ended before any of us would have preferred to see it, ended after 2 days as a result of a shortage of vaccine. But we brought the clinic back online and stood the proof of concept back up in February again, assessing clinic operations and assessing the scheduling and the COVAX system that runs for managing all aspects of clinic operations. As a result of that experience, Matt, we were able to provide some very significant feedback back to the province, and it became very clear at that point in time to us.
This guy's more military than Hilliard. I understood what he meant.
This type of operation in a city as big and complex as Toronto, that the only recipe for success, if you will, is to operate on the basis of one centrally coordinated booking system. And of course, that is exactly what the development of that is what has transpired. We have been in regular contact with them and in contact throughout. And well, I can tell you that with my deep appreciation, the province has accelerated, as have we. We've all accelerated to launch these clinics 2 weeks early. The province has matched that and are bringing us back on that proof of concept. We heard General Hillier say earlier this afternoon, acknowledging that this is an unprecedented, we've used that word a lot, this is an unprecedented lift in all aspects of managing the COVID-19 pandemic, and unprecedented from the standpoint of the amount of resources that need to be coordinated, and then more directly to your question, the amount of resources and the functionality that needs to be effectively managed and withstood by any system. The process, I have every confidence. I know that the process engineers have evaluated fully. It has been tested to the full extent that it can. And I'm excited about the fact that bringing us back onto the proof of concept now allows us to introduce increased demand, increased loading onto the system, which is going to be very beneficial, not only for our use, but for observation and evaluation and the consideration of our provincial partners as we all move towards March the 15th. So I commend them. They have certainly my thanks and the thanks of our entire city for bringing us back onto the proof of concept. And I'm eagerly awaiting the launch or the arrival of March the 12th and getting us through to the commencement of our next set of clinic operations.
Could I just clarify before I ask my second question? Was the booking system that you were using in January and February, was that the same website that you'll be using on Friday?
Not exactly. So of course, at that point in time, the booking system was still being developed. It was based on the same foundation and, of course, directly connected and feeding into the COVAX system, which is the overarching platform. In January, we were testing various versions and various different functionalities that continued in February. And all of that has resulted in the refinement and the final decision and launch, imminent launch of the provincial booking system, which we had the opportunity to be walked through what that functionality is. Dr. Avila announced recently as last night. And I can tell you, it looks fantastic. I'm really excited about the functionality. It appears to me to be very intuitive and a very seamless means of moving through the process. And based on what I've seen, I'm confident that it's going to meet our needs.
Okay,
that's odd.
Really quick. I'm just wondering.
Is that because we're receiving vaccine, or just every country is a part of it? You see, everybody's information from the U.S. isn't it?
And if just for simplicity for people who are in that demographic, if you might think about just actually keeping that tab just to guide people to the right spot.
I would say that's a distinct possibility, Matt, and we're working with all of our communications professionals, and certainly led by strategic communications here for that very purpose. So one of the things that we will evaluate over the next number of days is the customer experience, if you will, and that access. And I can tell you that we have a team of people right now working on making sure and doing everything we can do to make this as seamless, as streamlined and as clear a process as possible. So I would say nothing has been determined, nothing is off the table, and we're certainly looking at every option to make it as seamless and as easy as possible.
Happening now, you've been listening to the city's latest COVID-19 briefing. Our coverage begins now.
I would get tired of what?
Toronto's news
ends now. Begins now. What are you doing? Do you not run your 30-minute timestamp thing?
Downtown Toronto, 12 degrees. Good afternoon. I'm Sljana Tominsic.
And I'm James Monroe. Here's what's making news right now.
You're about to go to sports.
The Ford government is using its pharmacy pilot project to quickly roll out the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine.
We were listening to him tell us exactly how it works, you motherfucker.
It expires in less than a month, so starting Friday, the shop will be available at Costco, Rexall, and Shoppers Drug Marts. You can go to SickCityNews.com for a full list of locations. The city's top doctor reporting 473 new cases of COVID-19 in Toronto. More than 200 people are in hospital with the virus. And starting Monday morning, 4 subway stations on Line 1, the Yonge University line between St. Andrew and St. George stations, will be closed for 10 days.
And Red Plum 4042 from Chile.
Here's Alex Xero.
Sljana Maple Leafs head coach Sheldon Keefe said.
Well, I timed that wrong. I gotta have to join out. So I was gonna. Fuck. I'll do this. Okay. All right. Oh. That was a nice sound. Those are just CO2 cartridges I find. I got at least a dozen of them. I find them everywhere. I could care less, but if the snowplow hits them, they go flying, hit somebody, then there's cascading failures. I could care less when the city's normally cleaning this shit up. The guys that actually sweep all this shit up know what they find out there, right? Even the archaeologists, if they can find a garbage, they would sooner find a garbage dump of a settlement than the houses. Because the garbage dump will tell them what the fuck was going on. Some of them got names printed on them too, laser printed or whatever, dot matrix, whatever you call it. Come on. Come on, Android, you can do this. Oh. Okay, you did all your haircut bang. Now what? It's like a tractor engine. Just leave it. It'll work. Oh dear, what the fuck is the deal now, sis? Oh, but no.
Recourses, next step away from heads, divorces, messy ones. Not classy, Freddy, Bessie, my food up your booty, asteroid it, destroyed it, can't avoid that you annoyed it. If we bang, we done killed everybody and enjoyed it.
How you feel? We are family for real, but if we were a gang, then murder would be my thing. You ever heard of my name? They spell it in all caps. The wickedest raw rap.
Somebody timed that. Was that exactly 60 seconds or something?
You're spitting in the dark, look like lightning strike. You leave you twitching on the concrete, fighting for life and trying to figure out what the fuck you do to deserve this. And we coming for your family at the funeral. Now other men's nervous, niggas work on what you facing. We are jumping of a nation. United we stand, divided we fall. If you come against the fam, then we riding on y'all. Homie, if this was a gang, I have a army of niggas from 7 Mile. Come to your house, break your door down, snatch your mattress the couch, and start stomping you in front of your wife. Then that's the bitch you on the gun of the night. Nigga, if we was a gang, you be scared to walk the streets. My homies is off the chain and my dogs is off the leash. We young, black, and reckless. At you, man, we rep this.
You're done playing whatever we don't shut it off.
This man's trying to dissect this. Rappers want to correct this. My whole team being 17 and resurrect us. We will never fail the dark carnival.
I know it looks like my eyes are closed to that perspective, but what it really is you're fucking psycho.
The wicked clown painted up so frightening. Pretty yellow teeth when I pop, see me smiling. He's wicked now, watch a rumble but persistent. Get off the juggle, let you see you stolen from a distance. Stick it with the blade, but we look so innocent. Are you lost? Tried to break a juggle back, cause you think you never saw. Put your fucking dick up your mouth, I'll bite it off. Beautifully insane, we ain't some hoes you.
Really, it shows how redundant the app is.
We don't enemies, but Rizzuto died of natural causes.
The mafia.
A secret order dedicated to Cosa Nostra, this thing of ours. You violate what you know about this life, and you're gonna burn in hell like the sand is burning in your hands.
Ruckus. Niggas wanna hate, cause I'm getting on now. They wanna shoot me down, click, click, pow, pow. Niggas wanna hate, cause I'm getting on now. They wanna shoot me down, click, click, pow, pow. Niggas wanna hate, cause I'm getting on now. Cause I'm getting on now, niggas wanna hate. Cause I'm getting on now, they wanna shoot me down, click, click, pow, pow. Had more respect, so they crack no rap, best people forget. Cause they blast you with a Mac, and that's that. It's fucked up how niggas want my head over fame, it's a shame.
You know, that's not the first time I've been accused of spray paint in the garage.
Like me, one of a kind, on my grind. Fuck yeah, I'm a hood hopper. I'm well known all over. My niggas is connected with AJ, every day's payday. Mervin will kill you if you kill me and burn your kids. Paranoid, keep a 9 mil, take your blood spill. Full of blood, you're a fraud. Your life's on pause.
When you're in sideways like this, it means you're trying to fly down a cab. You're pointing, you're trying to cross the street. Those are the hand signs. You don't do none of that no more. This is how you get a ride. Press the button. You press the button for the. So every time I look down, usually my eyes are closed.
Definitely not sure.
You're a psycho. So you have to press a button across the street. And,
Mission Impossible, survive death more than 20 times in top crimes.
You tap the button, and you get a poke or a thumbs up. Eliminated hand signs. Eliminated hand signs. So every time I look towards the screen, or you think my eyes are closed, you're gonna go ape shit on my fucking mouth. Whatever script you're on. You're learning how to
wanna hate, cause I'm getting on now. Niggas wanna hate,
what's that?
Cause I'm getting on now. They wanna shoot me down, click, click, pow, pow. Niggas
You're learning how to use a computer.
I'm
learning psychology.
Shoot me down, click, click, pow, pow. Niggas wanna hate,
I'm laughing
cause I'm getting on now. They wanna shoot me down, click, click, pow, pow.
I know how you found those scripts. It doesn't matter.
Now. They wanna shoot me down,
click, click, I know the only way you would find the circle that this went around.
Now they wanna shoot me down, click, click, pow, pow. Niggas wanna hate.
That's when you found these copy and paste. That's when you found these copy and paste scripts to harass people.
Niggas wanna hate, cause I'm getting on now.
If I throw a brick through your TV set, it won't work either, right? Like, so what? That don't make me a hacker. You put enough dynamite under a safe, it'll open.
10 guns before. Bobby Smart 20 guns. Yeah, that's who the real niggas is. Shit, bitch ass niggas. Stop throwing fucking bullshit online. Come in real life. Limitless. Trying to dumb it down for these niggas to be conscious. But this is real life shit. I'm talking about it.
I'm your host, Trippz. Rawlings in Canada's North, a real vaccine success story. Listen to the Big Story Podcast.ca or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is 6 City News. The provincial government is spending $255 million to help cities, towns, and Indigenous communities deal with COVID-19 outbreaks in homeless shelters. A big chunk of it, $94.5 million, is going to the city of Toronto. Municipal Affairs Minister Steve Clark says the cash can be used to acquire motel and hotel rooms to support physical distancing.
Hiring additional staff and adding to rent banks to prevent people from becoming homeless and purchasing cleaning supplies and PPE.
Of the 20,000 people who used Toronto shelter system last year, 711 contracted the virus and 6 died. The outdoor skating season in Brampton is over. The city says 7 of its 8 outdoor rinks are now closed for the season because of the warmer temperatures and the impending arrival of spring. The covered rink at Moore Meadows is still open for now. Business is next.
Hi, I'm Marina Melisani from Nature's Emporium.
I'm gonna time this, right? We had timed this wrong. Hello.
Living Mi'kmaq and Donald Trump's USA.
I'm supposed to start pressing buttons and shit, right? I'm supposed to keep it up. Yep. Every time I look down, my eyes are closed. When my eyes are closed, you're gonna show me my eyes closed. That's good. That's good. Although every two or the three.
Vito Rizzuto was the head of the Montreal Mafia. He was a man with many enemies, but Rizzuto died of natural causes.
So I could say, well,
a secret order dedicated to
so I can get one of my hands free. I could tell this.
You violate what you know about this life, and you're gonna burn in hell like the sanctity burning in your hands.
So I'm not prepared to improve anything. The controls are those silver buttons. Damn it. I just want to show people again. Fuck's sakes. So anyway, if I'm sitting like this, I can't reach. Well, I can almost reach. Come on. These ones here. For fuck's sake, I can't aim the camera because you're shutting the fucking thing off. So I can't touch these here without also moving my arm forward. I gotta move. Come on, keep it up, Dick Weevil. So the point is, in order for me to reach those buttons, I got keep it up, Dick Weevil. In order for me to reach those buttons, I gotta move my arm forward. Well, I'm not gonna do it forever. So the point is, in order for me to even reach those buttons, I gotta move my arm forwards on my legs. So keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. Yeah, I can't focus.